think it's fair to say that transfer speculation for West Ham has definitely ramped up in the last 48 hours. A few more rumours coming to light for both incomings and outgoings. And I just wanted to do a little bit of roundup and talk about a few of those. Before I do so, though, if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. It only takes a couple of seconds and really helps us out. And drop a like on the video. That helps us out to get out to new people, new fans, and helps us to grow as a channel, which is obviously what we want to do. So really appreciate your help with that. But yeah, let's talk about transfer talk. Let's talk about the speculation over the last few days and what's been happening. So I want to talk about 4 players in particular, 2 potential outgoings and 2 potential incomings. One that we think is probably going to be an outgoing this season in Mohammed Kudus. There's been news recently that he has signed for a new agency. He's signed for a top European agency that have already got the likes of Virgil van Dijk and a few other big names on their books. Now, this isn't massive news. Players change agencies all the time, or change agents, I should say, all the time. But I think with this player at this particular time in the transfer window, does signal intent that he's definitely keen on a move. Now, I think we would have predicted that anyway, given his body language and the sort of way he conducted himself on the pitch last season. I don't think that's groundbreaking news, but it is interesting that he's chosen this time to find a new agency. And it definitely signals intent that he's keen to find a move sooner rather than later. We know he doesn't want to go to Saudi, and the fact he's chosen a top European agency again sort of solidifies that. He either wants to stay in the Premier League or go to a European club in the Champions League. So yeah, I think it's not massive news, but it does signal intent there from Kudus, and I do think it would accelerate talks. Potentially bids in the next week or so, because it's clear that he's been frustrated with his previous agency, and he just wants to get this deal moving. And I think if we are going to sell him, which there are definitely pros and cons to it, if we are going to sell him, then it is better sooner rather than later. We obviously don't want to sell him on the cheap, but we need to get the deal done so that we can start buying players ourselves, because as we keep getting told, we need to sell before we can buy. Another player that has been potentially linked with a move away is Niclas Füllkrug. But the club that he's been linked with is a bit of a shock. It's Real Madrid. Xabi Alonso, obviously the new manager there, and it said that he wants a more sort of traditional number 9 to act as sort of backup and cover for Kylian Mbappe, and that Füllkrug is one of his priorities for that position. Now, this could be just a bit of a very vague, very loose rumour that's come out of nowhere, or there could be some serious interest there. I don't think it's that surprising that there is interest from European clubs for Füllkrug. He's obviously got the pedigree, he's got the experience, he still knows where the back of the net is. He showed that even in a few appearances for West Ham last season. So he will definitely get some interest in him. But the fact it's Real Madrid is a little bit of a shock to me. I definitely didn't see that coming this summer. But if they want a backup number 9 who's shown that he can score goals in the Champions League and in Europe, then Füllkrug definitely ticks a few of those boxes. So it'll be interesting to see if anything happens from this one. Normally when Real Madrid show interest in a player, that's it happens, because if you're Niclas Füllkrug and you're choosing between West Ham and Real Madrid, I think unfortunately it's only going to be one winner. But for me, I would definitely like us to keep hold of Füllkrug this summer. I don't get me wrong, he's been frustrating in terms of his injuries last season. But the fact that he finished the season playing and getting a couple of goals shows that we could have a good, solid sort of backup, someone to fight a new signing for the striker position, to fight them for the main position up front. And I think I would like to see us sign 2 strikers this summer anyway. I think we need a first choice to come in, and then I think we need like a third choice. We've often just gone into season with just one player, one striker, and just put all our eggs in that basket, hoping that he's going to be the man to fire the goals in. And normally he gets injured and we barely see them, and JARROD Bowen goes up front. I really want to see JARROD Bowen play a full season on the right wing. That's his best position in my opinion. And I don't think we should be just constantly shifting him about to help the team. I think we need to get the best out of JARROD Bowen, and to do so, we need to play him on the right wing, in my opinion. So yeah, I would like us to keep Füllkrug. I think we've got enough players that we need to sign this window already, let alone another striker needing to come in. I just don't think it makes much sense, because I can't imagine we're going to get much more than, let's say, 15 million quid for him at his age, 32. So what is that money going to do for us in terms of signing a replacement? I don't see it really helping us too much in that regard. So hopefully it's just, it's the kind of transfer rumor that you see in the Sun, in the back pages of the Sun, and you sort of take it with quite a pinch of salt. So I'm hoping it's that rather than concrete interest, because like I say, if it is concrete interest from Real Madrid, you feel like it's a move that will happen, because you can't imagine him turning them down. In terms of incomings, a couple of players that have already been mentioned. They're not new names, but some developments. Obviously, Hermansen, the Leicester City goalkeeper. Mark broke the news in terms of the impending appointment of his compatriot, of a goalkeeping coach, Ankergren, who works with Graham Potter, I think, at Brighton. So yeah, he's Danish, and Hermansen's obviously Danish. So you can see where the link's coming from. And I think we've been linked with him previously as well. And it feels like the interest is ramped up over the last few days because of the appointment of the goalkeeping coach, or incoming goalkeeping coach. And I'm not too sure on this one. I've got to be honest. Let me know your thoughts on the whole sort of goalkeeping situation. I think the players that we've been linked with so far, I've just not been bowled over with. I do think that, again, I don't want to bang on about Kelleher, but for me, he was the one that would have been an upgrade now. I think he's better goalkeeping than Areola now, and I think he's got a higher ceiling. I think he will go on to be a really top Premier League goalkeeper, in my opinion. So I think at 18 million quid, that was a bargain. Look, he might have chosen Brentford either way, but it would have been nice to throw our name in the hat for that one. I think we missed out there. And the players we've been linked with since, I'm not keen on, I've got to be honest. And he's the latest one, Hermansen. I didn't watch him a load the last season, I've got to be honest, but when I did see him, I wasn't massively impressed. Obviously, he's playing for a team that got relegated and one of the worst in the league, so it is difficult for a goalkeeper. You're only as good as the sort of team in front of you. But like, I think when he comes to the London Stadium and we won 2-0, I think the second goal for JARROD Bowen just sort of fell over the line. It was clumsy goalkeeping at that point. I definitely didn't see him as a commanding big number one that was going to definitely go on to better things. So yeah, maybe I'm wrong. There seems to be a lot of people that rate him and think he's got a big future in the game. I don't suggest that he hasn't, but at this point, I don't think he's a player that I would say is an upgrade on Areola. And given us how cash strapped we are at the moment, I don't think we should be focusing any of our budget on someone like that. If we are to sign a goalkeeper, which we obviously need some version of a goalkeeper, but if we are going to sign a new number one, then I think he needs to be better than Hermansen, in my opinion. But let me know your thoughts on that. And then the last player I wanted to talk about was Stroeykens, which I probably butchered that name, to be honest. So it seems like the valuation that we put on him is short. No surprises there. We've lowballed, as we often do. And Alex have sort of just laughed off the offer so far and said we need to at least double it. So I think it's we've bid around 8 to 10 million. They want around 16 to 20 million. So in this day and age, I don't think 8 to 10 million difference means that it's definitely not going to happen. I think that's definitely doable. Whether it will be able to go to that point at this stage of the transfer window, I'm not too sure. But it definitely feels like this one is the closest to being an incoming, a new signing for West Ham. There seems to be definite interest there, as reported by X. And yeah, I do think this one is probably the closest we are to making a new signing finally for West Ham this summer. He's 20 years old, attacking midfielder. Definitely feels like a Graham Potter and Macaulay target rather than a David Sullivan. So in that sense, I'm sort of keen on it because it's a player obviously we've not heard too much about. Young player, seems to be interested from elsewhere. Anderlecht actually seemed keen to keep hold of him, obviously, as you would. But yeah, this one seems like he could be an exciting midfielder to come in and give some physicality, give some, just energy, which we desperately need. So this one seems like it's the closest to all players that we've been linked with so far. It'll be interesting to see how much we're willing to go to, but it doesn't feel like it's a million miles away. So this one could happen. And I'd be quite interested to see how it develops if it did happen. I think it's one player that could be one to keep an eye on. But yeah, that's a little bit of a roundup. Obviously, plenty of rumours, plenty of links at the moment. I'll try and keep you updated as much as possible, but I'm sure you'll see them around on social media and that kind of stuff. So yeah, like I say, if you did enjoy the video, drop a like on it, and I'll catch you on the next one.